y'all, this is Dizzy Dave. Now, in case any of you didn't know, Ric Phiffer gave me my nickname over 25 years ago. We were at a club called Texas Star in Denton, and I might have had just a few too many libations that day and that night, and I was leaning against the back wall in our set, holding my guitar, swaying back and forth, trying my best not to fall down. We finished the set. Rick came out from behind the soundboard, jumped up on stage, really concerned look on his face, and came up to me. He said, "Are you okay? Do you need to sit down? You look really dizzy, Dave." And from that point forward, Rick always called me Dizzy Dave, and that name spread until everyone around me, except for my wife and my kids, calls me Dizzy. That's what I answer to, and that's a testament to Ric Phiffer. I met Rick back in the late 80s when we hired him to come out and run sound for our band Full Circle. And we had no idea when we hired him how much more we would get in that bargain. We got not only a sound man, but we got a fellow performer, and we got a lifetime friend. From the moment I met him, Rick made me feel like we had known each other all of our lives. I was his best friend before I even knew how to spell his last name. I think Rocky put it best several days ago when we were texting, and he said, "You know, Rick had an infectious enthusiasm that could not be ignored." And I don't think there's any better way to say that for Rick. He had an infectious enthusiasm that you could not ignore. Rick was an electrifying performer. On a whim one night, we decided to have him bring out his fiddle, and he got up on stage toward the end of the night to do a couple of Charlie Daniels tunes, probably Sal's Gonna Do It Again. And from the moment that he struck the first note and we started into it, no one in the club could take their eyes off of him, and that includes everyone on the stage. As whether he was jumping around on one leg, hopping around in a circle, sawing on his fiddle, grabbing the microphone and singing with everything he had, or running over to me and Brian and playing air solos, Rick gave everything he had on the stage. And we knew that's where he belonged. We knew Rick was having the time of his life, and it made us have the time of our life too. And from then on, he had a featured spot in each of our gigs. It was almost always the third set. The first half of the third set was Rick's. Most of all, though, Rick believed that being in a band was about more than just rehearsing some notes on a page or the way we were going to move on stage and getting on stage and playing those notes and doing those stage moves. He believed that being in a band was about spending quality time together, about being a family. I can't tell you how many times on a Saturday night when we tore down, we were ready to go, we were tired as anything, Rick would come bouncing over and say, "Okay, we're getting together at my house tomorrow. We'll cook out. We'll watch some TV. We'll play some guitars. We'll just sit around and shoot the breeze. How's that?" And if you said no, "Well, we got Monday. We ain't playing on Monday. I tell you what, let's all get together on Monday. We'll go out to lunch somewhere. And we'll come back to my house and we'll just sit around and shoot the breeze. How's that? Bring your families too. Kids and family." Well, can't do that either. "Well, there's Tuesday. We're going to rehearse on Tuesday, but I tell you what, after we rehearse on Tuesday, your families will be home from work and you can bring them all over to my house and we'll cook out." That was Rick. He knew that even though bands and jobs come and go, that kind of friendship, that kind of family lasts all of our lives. And it has. Because for all the time that's passed since those days of being on the road and seeing each other more than we saw our families, and for all the distance that's between some of us physically and all the distance that's between some of us emotionally, I'm still connected to my Full Circle-ites and my Deuces Wild-ites by those bonds that Rick grabbed and he tied together. And he tied them together very gently, but he tied them together very firmly and tightly. And we will always be family. So how do I describe Ric Phiffer? Great sound man, electrifying performer, eternal peacemaker, Don't forget handlebar mustache wearer and feather earring wearer. We can't forget that. Equipment fixer, best friend, and most importantly, this is my brother. Lastly, I want to share the words to a song that Rick sang on stage with us. And even though this song is about a certain girl, I believe Rick was singing these words to everyone in his life. He sang, "I'm shameless when it comes to loving you. I'll do anything you want me to. I'll do anything at all. And I'm standing here for all the world to see. And that's what's left of me, and I don't have very far to fall. Now, I'm not a man who's ever been insecure about the world I've been living in. I don't break easy. I have my pride. But if you need to be satisfied, I'm shameless. I don't have a prayer. Every time I see you standing there, I go down upon my knees. And I'm changing. I swore I'd never compromise. But you convince me otherwise. I'll do anything you please." But I don't think there's any better way to end this than to actually hear Rick sing those words.
Well, I'm shameless when it comes to loving you. I'll do anything you want me to. I'll do anything at all. And I'm standing here for all the world to see. Oh, baby, this is left of me. I don't have very far to fall. You see, now I'm not a man who's ever been insecure about the world I've been living in. I don't break easy, I have my pride. But if you need to be satisfied, I'm shameless. Oh, honey, I don't have a prayer. Every time I see you standing there, I go down upon my knees. And I'm changing. I swore I'd never compromise. Oh, but you convince me otherwise. I'll do anything you please.